right, folks, welcome back to the Live at a Dollar Podcast Network. We're in Radio's Yard. You see the nose sitting next to me. It's time for Radio and the Nose Fantasy Football Show. Very excited. After week one of the NFL season is done, we'll get every reaction from the nose on what he thought from last week, of what he likes going into the next week. We'll do yes or no's later on in the program as well. We'll have the nose pick of the week, our normal stuff we do here. First off and foremost, Nose, welcome back to, I guess this is kind of your house also now. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. I've had an interesting week one.
Yes.
A lot of hate.
Yes.
Bring it on.
George Pickens. You got a lot for that, right? We might as well start with that.
I got hit.
Because what we normally did on our other shows, when you gave a nose pick of the week out or you gave a pick, we would either call it nose candy or we call it a nosebleed. We're going to call George Pickens week one. Nosebleed. It was a nosebleed, right.
It's a miss. Listen, we don't hit them all.
Right.
I still love the call. I still love the idea behind the call.
Right.
As Kobe mentioned, they threw multiple balls to him
Right.
in the end zone.
Terrible drop.
Bombs.
One terrible drop.
Just
right.
overall,
Right.
they tried to get him the ball, but it was a miss.
Right.
And we take it. We take it right on our chest.
No, we do. And that's how we start off the program when stuff like that happens. If it was really good, Nose is not the one to sit here and pat his back, but I would. If Pickens had 12 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown, I would have started off with the George Pickens jersey on and batting his chest the way I do. But when it's a nosebleed, we go out and we say it as well. All right, let's start off with kind of what we used to do here in the program in the first segment was kind of our observations from the week that was going into the week that will be coming up here on Thursday night for Thursday Night Football. What did you see in week one? A couple things maybe off the top of your head that you liked, you didn't like, just kind of observations from the nose at that point.
Well, there's definitely a few players that we have to discuss
Right.
that, mostly right now, who do you have to pick up, get them on your bench?
Right.
Who's like worth starting this week? So
Right.
like upside city for this week, maybe stash on your bench. And then there's some guys that I think a lot of people are jumping to grab.
Of course.
That I think is going to be a high risk move. So we could just jump into that if we shall.
I'm excited. I want to hear this too because, of course, I'll be taking notes, as I'm sure everyone out there watching and listening will be doing as well. Nose, the mic is yours.
Well, let's go in, shall we?
Let's go in. Well done.
Right.
Right.
We've been saying that for years with this
We
guy.
have, right.
So listen, to me, the number one guy that is so obvious that if he's on your waiver wire, and he was on a bunch of waiver wires, Hollywood Brown.
Yes.
Okay, so Hollywood Brown had, let's call it, 16 targets. Look, I'm a huge target person.
I know you are.
It's
right.
all about opportunity. So after week one, what I would be doing in terms of observations is seeing who gets the ball.
Right.
Okay. Who is getting those targets? And nobody had more targets in the week than Hollywood Brown.
It's crazy, right?
Xavier Worthy goes down.
Crazy.
I know he's week to week. No matter what, for this week in a PPR league, I want you starting Hollywood Brown, unless you have one of those 3 wide receiver sets to die for. Patrick Mahomes is going to throw the ball, and he's got a very comfort level, even though they might be 1 yard, little 2 yard hits.
Right.
H. Brown is one of those type of players that could take that and run 30, 40 yards real quickly on a hitch. So for me, he was the first one that is like, you must pick him up, you must start him. When you're looking at a quarterback, at a wide receiver, I know this is 101 type shit. You look at the quarterback that's throwing him the ball.
Right.
Pat Mahomes is throwing that guy the ball. Who else is catching it? Kelsey looked so slow. I do not care.
He looked bad.
He had that touchdown, and God bless him. Even his dancing looked slow, okay?
Right.
Everything about that.
He turned into a Swiftie.
So, you got Rashee Rice marinating on all these benches, my favorite marination of all time. You got 6 weeks of that. You got Worthy banged up, who's also much more of a home run hitter. Hollywood Brown, definitely pick him up and start him.
I love it. CJ, by the way, CJ, who works in the building here, that's his cousin. He's been talking about Hollywood Brown for a couple weeks now to go pick him up. Probably should have listened to him, guys.
It makes sense.
Probably should have listened to him.
Yeah,
right,
no,
at that
it
point.
was. Look, Kansas City, you're always going to find who's going to get the ball because
Right.
someone's going to get the ball.
Right.
Even though we said the number one sucker pick is always Patrick Mahomes, and it's still going to be that. Yes, he had a few good rushes, and then he got that running touchdown that made him very good for week one.
Right.
But overall, that 230-yard, 1 touchdown games, those loom very large. But how is he going to get those 230 yards? Hollywood Brown until Worthy is 100% and until Rashee Rice is back.
Right. All right, what else you got?
All right. Well, for the SEC fans out there, those who watched LSU over the, starting a few years ago, know about this guy. Number 7 always at LSU is a dirty, dirty player, and that is the Booty man, Kayshon Booty. However you want to say it, Kayshon. Look, this guy's a player. Drake May looks the part.
Right.
Okay, I'm not trusting Stephon Diggs just yet, although he got a nice target share. But overall, 6 catches for 103 yards, and it's looking like could be a potential wide receiver 1 in New England. Again, I watched him play in the SEC. He is a big body, he is fast, and he's a great route runner.
Right.
That is a guy who is a pick him up, and I have no problem with you starting him as a flex this week if, again, you find that you need the help in that area.
Especially going against the Dolphins and that secondary right now, I'd probably start any wide receiver playing the Dolphins at this point.
I'm telling you,
Right.
yes, please.
Yeah, we'll take that.
He is going to be a possible breakout player, so just keep an eye on it. And the beauty of like starting this early in pickups in week 1 and week 2 are there are some players that could be high impact players.
Right.
You know, I mean, it goes years back that you could come up with players, but the one guy. Let's see how long you guys been doing fantasy. Let's see how I aged myself. Kobe, this one's for you.
Oh, I can't wait for this one.
Do you know who Marquise Colston is?
Yeah,
Okay, who's Marquise Colston?
he was on the Saints.
Yes, he was.
12.
Where'd he go to college?
No idea.
I'm going to say Hofstra. But that's another story for another time.
Wow, it's
Marquise
really Hofstra?
Colston.
Wow.
Marquise Colston was a guy that week 1 of the first year he blew up, week 1 blew up. And, you know, people didn't know, oh, it's a one-off thing. No, you get those guys.
Right.
Because then he ended up being an all-pro, and you pick up a player in week 1 or week 2 is the only time you have a real potential. And so for me, the booty is the type of player that actually could fit in that mold.
Change your season around, right?
So if you see some players on your bench that you're like, I don't know, and some of these guys are still available in your league, scoop them right now. I got 2 players in the tight end position.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I got
Wow,
2.
I like that.
Well, look, first major injury happened.
Right.
Okay, week 1 was pretty. I know overall it was a pretty clean week for injuries, but our boy George Kittle went down.
Yeah, horrible.
But you got 2 players that I'm going to recommend to pick up. One with a massive amount of upside, and one that is just like a plug-in. And the plug-in is Jawan Johnson
Yeah,
of the Saints.
I knew it,
Okay,
right.
I am not excited about him. I am not. But the 11 targets
That's huge.
and 8 receptions is a reason for you to plug him in week 2 if you had a very busty situation
Right.
at the tight end spot. Like if you picked up Loveland and started Loveland to be your tight end, I might want you to start Jawan Johnson. Not bench, bench Loveland, maybe not
Right.
drop him, but get Johnson in because
Get Johnson in this week. At
look,
least, right?
Spencer Rattler and that New Orleans offense looks really bad. Okay, but they threw the ball to 2 players, Chris Olave
Right.
and Johnson. They're going against San Francisco. They're going to throw the ball. Those are the 2 guys who I expect to have it. So for a 1-week plug, that's it. But the guy that has the upside,
Right.
that's the name that is going to be very hot along with the booty, is Harold Fannin Jr., the Bowling Green legend.
Wow.
Okay, not
I like
everybody heard about this guy. MAC Player of the Year, MAC Offensive Player of the Year. He was the MAC. He was the MAC Daddy. Okay, I did it.
You did it. Wow, I didn't think you were going to
it's
go.
pretty
there.
horrible.
Look what he just did, folks.
Guy had 75% share of playing. So 75% of the plays,
Right.
he was in that. Of that, 42% of those plays, he was in the slot. He was playing wide receiver.
Right.
Okay, he had a really nice game. I definitely recommend him picking him up, and he's certainly startable. 7 catches for 63 yards in his first game, and another situation where Flacco's going to look to get him the ball if Judy and or Tillman are not open.
Right. So I don't. Let me sidebar
Yeah,
you there.
sidebar me.
Because for the Kittle owners out there, now we're going to be missing Kittle for about a month,
Mm-hmm.
for at least 4 weeks. Hopefully not more than that, but of that. These 2 guys right now plug and plays. These 2 like you just said right away for the Kittle. Is there is it potential? Because I know you're not high on Jawan, but you are high at least for this week on him. Potential if Kittle's out 6 weeks, 8 weeks, if he stays out for a long time.
No, this is Fannin Jr. Let's just be very clear. I
Right.
want you to pick up Fannin Jr.
Okay.
over Jawan Johnson. But
Right.
by the time this posts, a lot of these players are going to already be picked up in
course.
fantasy leagues.
Right.
So for me, if you had an option of both, I think Fannin has every chance of being a starting tight end for your fantasy team. And or you never know down the road when all you want to do is build capital on your team. Make sure your bench is the best it could be because we are always trading in trading season. Of
course.
Okay, we are always trying to get better. And
Right.
so if Fannin ends up being a startable guy and you have one of those top 3 guys, or if you have a Tyler Warren who I'm expecting a huge year from, all of a sudden you have a little capital. So if another George Kittle or somebody else down the road gets hurt, You have 2 tight ends. You
Tradable.
need a running back. Let's make a deal.
All right, I like that as well. All right, so those are your observations from week 1.
I got one more.
Oh, okay, bonus.
So now that I gave you the pick 'em up and start 'em.
Right.
Okay. One of the more popular pickups is Quentin Johnson from the Los Angeles Chargers.
Absolutely, right.
And I get it. I understand it, and I don't mind you picking him up. To pick him up and start him this week, I think is the sucker move. I think it's the one where I don't see him having 2 touchdowns again. I don't see him having a touchdown this week. He's still the third option there. He had a great game. He had a big touchdown.
Right.
But overall, that is Ladd McConkey. And man, dude, Herbert went straight back to the Keenan Allen show like we were watching a few years ago. I loved those connections. So Quentin Johnson is, again, in these ranges of like the top guys getting picked up. I don't mind you having him on your bench if you had
Right.
some guys that you could, some dead weight. But let's not get too carried away. Let's see him do it again before we're starting him. So I would hold if you could and not start Quentin Johnson in week 2.
I feel like, and this is sound weird, but like in the last couple of years, I feel like this is the Josh Palmer situation, where like he had like that huge week 1 or week 2, everyone's picking up and starting him, and then he gets 0 targets, 0 catches for like 2 straight weeks. Like it's one of those situations, and it's basically the same team. It's always Josh Palmer and the Chargers, or someone with the Chargers that kind of picks that up.
Man, I forgot. I like to address the audience and say I forgot that last week you were really impressive with your sports knowledge again. That was a very good observation again.
Thank you.
But there's a few years where this guy was probably dealing with a lot and going on, and he would
Yeah.
never have made an observation like that.
No. I remember the best.
You just
observation.
Josh Palmer me.
I did.
Okay.
I did. Because I was thinking about a guy that I picked up in the last couple of years after a big week 1 or whatever, and started him for the next 2 weeks, and he got donuts for me.
I
after
knew I
that,
had to
right?
prepare more for this show because like you're bringing it your A game.
Listen,
right
I'm
now.
upstairs. There's chasers. You got to know the rookies. You got to know all the people. I'm in a different position at this point.
So you brought
For
up a
sports
great
radio,
point.
I just need to be a good bullshitter, and I was pretty good for a long time, right?
Inconsistency. So Josh
Right.
Palmer had the great game, 2
Right.
games off. I see Quentin Johnson being very similar.
Same
to that.
like it, right.
I'm just gonna just drop the mic on that one. Pop it.
Love it. Look at that.
Next
We're done.
subject.
No, I'm just joking. We're not done. All right. A couple things that I'm going to bring up to you because I know you have your kind of list of the top performers for last week or guys that could be going forward. I just want to bring up one team for you, and they lost a heartbreaker, a bad game, but they had 3 of the best performances in fantasy that I've seen in a very long time. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver. I'm talking about Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, King Henry, Zay Flowers. Can we talk a little bit about that? Obviously, these are not like pickup guys. They're already drafted on teams, but holy shit.
Let's just you like to sidebar. Let's just sidebar the sidebar and talk
Right.
about how great of a football game that
It was
was.
fantastic,
And
right?
the NFL is back,
Yep.
and thank God it's back because it was a long summer. That was an incredible game.
Wait a minute. I'm sidebarring your sidebar. How about the fact that we haven't had primetime games that have been really good, consistent? How about week 1, Thursday, Friday, Sunday night, and Monday night with the Vikings and the Bears? We had 4 good primetime games. We sometimes didn't go through a month at a time with 4 good primetime games. We had 4 in a row.
NFL flexed.
Right, they
I'm
did.
just, I'm so excited for the upcoming week.
Me too.
Every day is just like in my brain has Monday we have Monday Night Football, then Tuesday got to make the pickups. Other leagues in CBS, Wednesday we have to make the pickups. Right into Thursday, it's just
Right.
We're back.
We're back.
Thank
We're
God
back.
we are.
We're back
Yeah,
at this
man.
point. All right, Baltimore, Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Let's talk about because it's not just the Baltimore side of the ball. If you did have Josh Allen and James Cook and Keon Coleman on your team, wow,
Look.
what a fantasy dream that was.
Keon Coleman was in my top 5 guys that you must draft.
Right.
That I'm proud of. That I said on the show. Josh Allen needs a 1, and he has a 1 now, and I'm really, really happy for him. And so if you guys picked up Keon Coleman, look, he's not going to break away with his crazy speed, but his hands are great. His route running is great. He is so tall and such a target for Josh Allen.
Right.
It is going to be such a huge hit. What a game. But yes, Lamar Jackson, number 2 overall quarterback,
Right.
only to
Josh Allen.
To Josh Allen.
Right,
I mean, that's how good that was.
Right.
James Cook was 1 yard away from the incredible, and I know in your major league, you have Josh Allen and Jimmy Cook.
Right.
That was 1 yard away from the double Beavis points. Didn't matter. You still had the most points in the league. And
That's
that,
right.
And so you.
And by the way, when Nose says that, Nose is part of that team. By the way,
Fair enough.
It's me, Broch. It's radio in the Nose.
I like
and
to stay in
Broch.
the background.
No, you know what? You're part of the league. We have a humongous backyard breaks league. Colby's in the league as well. We have a humongous league. Every team is represented by like 4 or 5 people sometimes. Our team is Team Broch, radio in the Nose. So there it is. So yes, Cook and Allen, we're nasty.
They were nasty.
Nasty.
I mean, but you said it. Lamar was the second
Yep.
to Josh Allen, who that was just the two best performances of the year in game one. I mean, show me better. I'm sure there will be, but
Maybe. I'm not going to
Maybe.
say I'm sure there
Right.
will be. Not two quarterbacks having those nights. Josh Allen this weekend could have another 400 yards, 3 touchdown game, and that's fine. That doesn't mean the quarterback playing against him in that game is going to do what Lamar did. Lamar versus Josh Allen, heavyweight. This is the old school Mike Tyson, Lennox. Like, this is one of those massive fights, and it was fun to watch.
it was the best. And then
Come on.
you had the number one running back on the week,
Right.
King Henry.
Right.
Only the guy doesn't stop,
How about that fumble?
but the fumble. Thankfully, this is not a fantasy. I mean, this is a fantasy show, so you
Not
know
a-
what?
Right.
No one cares about the fumble
No.
unless you're a Baltimore Ravens fan,
Right.
okay? But King Henry, number one.
Yep, he was
and then
awesome.
the number one wide receiver was Zay Flowers.
Crazy.
So you had 2-1-1, as you had mentioned. Look, it was a primetime game. They played really up for that. You could expect this all year from Lamar. You know Derrick Henry is going to be a top 10 running back. The Zay Flowers situation, hell of a game. He has his inconsistencies. Let's see. It's a start.
Right.
We all know how skillful he is. We all know he's from South Florida.
Right.
We all know the game.
Right.
Everybody down here, at least in our world, in South Florida, knows what Zay Flowers is all about. I'm cautiously optimistic about his year. He was one of the guys that all the experts were like, do not draft, do not draft. It's because they spread the ball around a lot there.
Right.
Great week one. Start him for week two, and
That's
let's just
it.
see what happens.
And
That's it.
Kind of watch how it flows there. A couple other players I want to throw at you, and I'll throw out just this one game, and I know I'm going to get Kobe all lit up in the back here.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh and the Jets.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers. I'm going strictly with a lot of the quarterbacks early because that's, whether we didn't want to touch them in the draft or stay away from them or not, these are two guys that probably weren't very high on a lot of people's lists. I know Fields might have been on some. I know you liked him a lot going into it. Aaron Rodgers, maybe not as much. Aaron Rodgers, 245, 4 touchdowns. Justin Fields looked like Superman out there against Pittsburgh. This was fun, but those two guys in general, what'd you think?
It was everything that the Pittsburgh fans over here wanted to see from
I
Aaron
know.
Rodgers.
He's been gushing for a week now. I know. Kobe's been
I
gushing.
get it. Look, great week one. Two quarterback system, absolutely as your second quarterback. But still, if you're in a one quarterback league, absolutely not. Great game, great ball manager, hit his players. He was great. That being said, let's see what he does week two. This is I am not starting Aaron Rodgers in a 10 or 12 team league. Sorry. But again, Superflex, absolutely different
Right.
story.
Yep.
And let's just see what he does. But overall, he spread the ball around. They looked good. Jalen Warren looked good. You were impressed with him. Can you give me an update and the league the update on the Caleb Johnson and the one rush for -2 yards?
Yeah.
Because what is your view of this Pittsburgh offense?
I think Arthur Smith is just like addicted to running with Kenneth Gainwell,
Yep.
and I don't know why, because he ran it up the middle like 12 times and got 2 yards like every single
Right.
time, and that's a Jalen Warren rush. Jalen Warren runs that exact play, he gains 6 yards.
Yeah.
And Caleb Johnson too. Caleb Johnson's a bigger body. And
Yeah, I don't understand the Gainwell
Arthur
either.
Smith is
Gainwell
stubborn.
obsession drove me nuts. You ask anyone that we were sitting with here, Bugsy, all them, Gainwell was driving me nuts. So
Okay.
I hope they get Caleb Johnson more involved.
Me too. So that's another one where obviously you're not starting a Caleb Johnson, who was one of those guys who's probably on your bench week one to start with. I hope he was on your week one
Right.
bench, and you're going to keep him there. I think the talent is there. I think he's a bruiser and he fits the mold. He should be the backup. But other than that, great start for you, man. That being said, the one player I'm obviously going to start from that team is DK.
Right.
And
He looked weird in a Steeler jersey, but
he did, but
he's
the number looks
good,
so
right?
good.
He's
Number
so
4.
good, right.
Yeah. And then on the other side, Justin Fields is exactly what you would want in a Russian quarterback. And he also has just such a talented wide receiver in Garrett Wilson.
Right.
Breece Hall looked the part. Braylon Allen looked the part. What a great game also. That was another just high-scoring game. I think Justin Fields is going to be a great fantasy quarterback, a one that I would be starting in a one quarterback
In a
system.
12-team league, you
look,
started
I
him?
said this from the beginning.
Right.
I believe he could be very, very good. I feel like they did a good job that there's not so much pressure on him to
Right.
perform, and with his legs and his ability to find people while moving and on the being a mobile quarterback, those are huge fantasy numbers. So
Yep.
start Justin Fields.
All right, a couple more players I just want to ask your thoughts about. One of them, Bijan Robinson. if you looked at his rushing total, you'd be like, what? Like, what the heck? Wide receiver 1. I mean, now, and Drake London obviously banged up. That's another guy from that team we'll ask about. But Bijan, Drake London, and how about Michael Penix, too? Is Michael Penix moving up the ladder a little bit? 12-team league maybe to start, or still not there yet?
He's getting closer.
Yeah.
He had a great
I figured
game.
he's probably 15 right now or something like
he
that.
looks the
right?
part. I mean, you want to talk about Bijan? Yeah, Bijan had that incredible, play out of the
Ridiculous.
backfield, and
Right.
that made him have a great fantasy day. Other than that, it wasn't great. But I've never loved the usage of Bijan, and I still don't love the usage of Bijan. You still have Tyler Algiers getting rushes. Now, I understand the guy needs a blow, but I would be giving him the ball and running him more.
Give him the rock,
And
right?
give him the rock, and they're throwing to him pretty well. But look, Bijan was taking 1 or 2 or 3 overall on your team. You're starting him no matter what.
Right.
What I really liked seeing was Drake London. Now, Drake London, I actually wrote it down because it was very impressive. 15 targets.
He had a lot.
He had 15 targets.
Right.
So if you drafted him to be your wide receiver 1 or even better, your wide receiver 2, it looks like Penix wants to get him the ball. And so for me, London is just value-wise.
Just stay healthy.
He's skyrocketing.
Right.
He was drafted in the first round. He was drafted to do exactly what he's going to do, in my
Right.
opinion. So Drake London, basically all the guys in Atlanta, even Kyle Pitts looked serviceable. Yeah, there we go.
It's close.
I did okay.
Yeah.
So overall, I love the Falcons' upside in fantasy. I like they are an exciting team to me. So Penix, Drake London, Bijan Robinson with a little side of Kyle Pitts. I have absolutely no problem with you going and enjoying your Sunday watching them.
Yeah, I like that. I really did like watching that Atlanta team play and just see what that offense could turn into at this point. All right, before we get to anything crazier after this, what about Tampa
What about him?
and Ibuka? Is that how you say his name? Ibuka?
I was waiting for you to do
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
If you drafted him,
wow. Wow.
whatever, smile ear to ear,
Yeah.
one of these
Right.
moves. I mean, one of the best. We knew his route running was elite.
Yeah.
But when you take Chris Godwin out of the equation, and we discussed it all last week, Baker Mayfield is a gunslinger. And
Right.
He is, but he didn't even gunsling that much. But Becca Ibuka is him right now in terms of like the guy that you drafted. You may have even drafted him a little early.
Right.
5th, 6th, 7th round, it doesn't matter. You're plugging him in. You're starting him week in and week out. And I expect him to be probably, when all is said and done, the #1 rookie wide receiver over McMillan. But overall, could be a top 3 or 4 rookie. I still think Genty's going to have a monster year for the Raiders.
Right.
But yeah, things are looking up.
Yeah, I mean, it sure looked like it there in Tampa. Another guy, another receiver
Oh.
that they could put in.
Mike Evans needs to, get a little bit more open. But
Yeah, I
maybe they
get
were
that.
double. Maybe the attention was there, and it was Ibuka's time. But that might change.
Right.
But again, you got the right quarterback throwing the ball in the right system. That guy's gonna. Baker doesn't care. Last year, led the league in interceptions. Doesn't care.
No, he's a gunslinger. He doesn't give
Doesn't care.
Doesn't give a shit about that, right? He doesn't care about that stuff. All right. Any other observations, stuff you want to bring up here before we get on to yes or no's and the kind of middle of this podcast?
Just like I like to bring up, like after week 1, the players.
Don't bring up Danny Dimes
Why not?
because it hurts. It still hurts.
It hurt so good.
It hurts so bad.
Why?
What
Because
happened to
you're a
the
Dolphins
Dolphins?
fan?
Did this on the football podcast also. My whole recap of the game was they shit the bed. Let's move
So
on.
in that case, Kobe, let's talk about it, shall
Right.
we?
I'm gonna sit back
So
and
there
lay
was
my head
the
down.
top 5 quarterbacks. We addressed them. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. It was Justin Herbert at
Right.
3 that looked.
I'll talk about Herbie, right?
Herbert in an offense that everyone's going to we're going to run the ball. We're going to run. Yeah, and they're going to run the ball. And Aaron Hampton's going to run the ball. But Herbert looked really good.
He did.
3rd ranked.
He did.
Then it was Justin Fields was 4th.
Crazy.
And then guess what? You asked for it.
Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes comes into Indianapolis.
It looks like Peyton Manning.
And is the first player, I think, in NFL history. No, we all know this because Scott Hansen had to literally triple check his sources. But the first quarterback, in NFL history, to score on every single possession in his game.
God.
That is wild. And it was against your.
Fire Chris Greer.
Miami
Fire Mike McDaniel.
Dolphins.
And get rid of Tua.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Danny Dimes, if it's going to do that to you for the Dolphins, start paying attention. Who's playing the Dolphins, right? Who's playing this week?
Right. New
England.
England.
The booty. Get him in your lineup.
All right.
Next.
Well done. All right. Let's get on to some other stuff here. That's it for you for observations at this point. We're okay.
I mean, I could just
anyone else you
quickly
wanna bring up
rip
here?
off, you
Yeah.
know, the top players. I love to prove sometimes, you know, they are who they are. So,
Right.
like Josh Allen and Lamar were the top
Ridiculous.
two. Running backs, it was King Henry and Bajan, Jimmy Cook, and then Christian McCaffrey.
He's back.
Had that CMC
Right.
type of game, you know, 69 here, 73 here. He didn't find the end zone, but he will. It was just great that he came in and out of that game with health because nobody for the 49ers is healthy right
No,
now.
and he's the only one that's crazy to even say.
great, right.
He's the only one healthy.
I'm very concerned,
Right.
but they do have probably one of the better backups in Mac Jones. We saw what he did last year in Jacksonville. So at least if Purdy misses this week, they have a very serviceable guy backing him up. And then the one guy that I think we would be, it wouldn't be fair to the audience to not discuss is what do you do with Javonte Williams? Because on
Right.
Thursday Night Football, he came out and he had himself a good fantasy day. I will go out far as says I don't think it's going to happen this week. Okay. So for me, I think Javonte Williams was one of those guys where he was on your bench week one. Now you're so tempted to start him.
course.
2 touchdowns, got the usage. No, I just don't see it happening. I would keep him on your bench for week 2.
All right. I like that in general. And more than likely, I just knocked off things off the wall. And more than likely, it's going to come up in yes or no's too, because we have a yes or no segment here coming up here in just a second. That was observations. We're going to do that every single week, where Nose is going to go back and look at what he loved, what he saw, little things that he might like or not like going into the next week full of stuff. I like that Javonte hot take, but we will go into right now. Yes or no's. It's an award-winning segment that we've been doing here for a very long time. Very excited about this. I will ask Nose 9 fantasy football questions, possibly 10. There might be a bonus one in there also. And then one life question at the end. Has nothing to do with fantasy football. Might have to do with something personally with the Nose. Might even have to do personally with Kobe at this point. Wink, wink. Might be a hint for this week's question number 10. It could be a Kobe personal question
Is
here.
he ready for it?
He has no idea that this could be question
He
number
has
10.
no idea who I am
And
still.
he has no idea how bluntly you answer questions at this point as well. But let's start with the award-winning segment we like to do here called Yes or No's. Like I said, I will be asking Nose 10 questions about fantasy football coming up either this week or just in general. He will answer with yes or no's and go over it after that. And the 10th question, or 11th this week, will be a personal question. First one we're starting with here. And by the way, this week, Kobe did the entire yes or no segment.
did?
He did the entire yes or no
Oh,
segment
shit.
and
Me
texted
and
him
the
to it.
fellas. It wasn't just me.
Okay, so there's the
Tyler-
brain trust in the
yeah,
back.
yeah,
It was
People
Ty,
are really
it was-
working on this.
Dude, we have a very big crowd of fantasy football people in this house.
Right.
When I did explain to them we were doing a fantasy football show each week, everyone wanted to be involved. The only one I actually did involve is sitting here with us in the room. He is Kobe, or Ty, who's in the back here as well. Maybe even Silent Pete if we wanted to get him in here too. Huge Dolphins fan. He's not talking this week because the Dolphins lost. Yeah, it's bad. All right, question number 1 here. Bo Nix is overrated. Yes or no's?
Absolutely no. Guys, week 1, relax. Yes, he threw against, the grain a few times. He's going left and shooting it right, and that is never going to work throwing across the field like that, and you're going to have your interceptions. Bo Nix is going to be just fine. I'm still starting him, and I still believe in him. That play to Cortland Sutton, what a guy, what a grab.
Yep.
That
Cortland
connection.
Sutton, former
that,
nose pick
nose
of the
pick of the
year.
year.
Right.
That guy is the goods. Bo Nix is an overreaction from week 1. He'll be fine.
Okay. Question number 2. Kenny Walker will be overtaken by, pour me a glass of Zach Chardonnay.
Yes. What a great question these guys are coming up with. Look, I was always a Kenny Walker fan, but look, Chardonnay is going to get the ball. He's now getting the goal line carries, it looks like, scoring the touchdowns. It still, to me, is a true 50-50 type deal. If I had to start one for week 2,
Right.
I'm going with a nice Chardonnay.
I like that at this point. All right. Question number 3. He sounds like an 80s character from like a sitcom, but Billy Krosky Merritt is the real deal. Yes or no?
Who, Bill?
Bill. Right.
I'm dying to find out this week if
Right,
he's the
right.
real deal or not. Look, I'm really apprehensive to start him this week because we just don't know. But I certainly am happy if I have him on my bench, okay? Thursday Night Football,
Right.
okay? I'm putting him on my bench, but with all of the interest in watching him, because if he has one more good game and he breaks out, and at least for me, I'm looking at carries, right?
Right.
You got Aaron Ekeler, you got Rodriguez, they're still getting some touches. I want to see now a separation. I want to see 12 to 15
Right,
carries
right.
or touches, and then I'm going to go from there. But I want Bill on my team. I like that. Look, when Jaden Daniels is the quarterback and people have to pay so much attention to him on the line,
Right.
it opens up the space for the running back position. So let's pay attention. But in terms of, is he a yes or no's to have in general right now? Yes.
I like that. All right, here's a good one. J.J. McCarthy is better than Caleb Williams. Yes or no's?
My God.
Tough one.
Fantasy or football? We're
We're
a
going
fantasy show.
straight fantasy.
No's. Caleb Williams, very disappointed in his quarters 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
But
Quarter one, he was MVP,
But
right?
if you could see those running moves that he has, I mean, he has it, right? He's got what it takes. He needs to gel. We saw how poor Detroit's offense is, and we could talk about a whole show about that shit show.
Oof, yeah.
But I do believe in Ben Johnson, and I do believe he's going to get Caleb Williams right. Okay, so I like him more. J.J. McCarthy looked great in the second half, but I have my concerns as a fantasy quarterback that he's going to put up these huge numbers, and I do believe that will affect Justin Jefferson in a negative fashion down the road. He is still the best wide receiver in the game. He still scored his touchdown, but those games of 12 to 13 targets
Right.
for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns, I'd like to see J.J. McCarthy be able to show that he is the quarterback to do that. It's still early, but if you had to pick one right now, I'm not going with J.J.
You go with Caleb fantasy-wise at this point. Okay, I'm good with that also. The Giants, this is going to be kind of a football/fantasy football question there in this point. The Giants are going to go winless until Jackson Dart starts for that team, yes or no's?
Yes. God.
My sidebar to that before you even go
There's
forward
nothing to even say.
is Jackson Dart, if he does, let's say he gets thrusted into the lineup in the next 2 or 3 weeks, the starter for the rest of the season, is he worthy to pick up in a 2-quarterback league?
In a 2-quarterback league,
Yeah.
yes.
He's not 12.
absolutely.
I know he's not top 12.
No,
I
of
get
course.
that.
Look, yes, because of Malik Neighbors. You still
Right.
have probably the most physically gifted wide receiver on your team,
Right.
and they can't get him the ball right now. So, look, that's a team that I am really down on. I mean, like Dolphins down on. But once they make that change, there'll be some growing pains. There'll be some learning curve. But overall, Jackson Dart will give Neighbors the best opportunity to succeed and have a great fantasy year, as he should,
Right.
because he is that good. Russell Wilson, as you know, because we've been buddies for years, I haven't recommended Russell Wilson
A long time.
in a very long time.
If
When
ever.
he stopped running, he stopped being a good quarterback.
Right.
I don't know what the Giants were doing here. You should just, I understand the theory behind it. Time to cut loose after this week. If you need to get that second game, I think they're going to have a bad week. I think Jackson Dart's going to be starting quarterback by week 3. That's how quickly I think this is going to happen.
All right. Next one up. Javonte Williams has solidified his spot as RB1 in Dallas.
In Dallas, yes. I mean, sure, because there's no running backs in Dallas.
Right.
Just be careful in fantasy, as we just discussed. I think that Javonte Williams was supposed to be something very special in Denver for multiple years, and it never came to fruition. I think that has a possibility of happening in Dallas. Yes, we know he scored 2 touchdowns. That was just how the game, how the cookie crumbled. They
Right.
got to the 1-yard line 2 different times. That's how that game particularly happened. I don't expect it again to happen this week. I expect a game more of like 15 rushes for 45 yards. I'm talking about 6 or 7 overall fantasy. So what I'm telling you is
Don't start him.
bench him.
Yep. Okay. More of a football one here as well. The Dolphins' loss isn't as bad as people think. Yes or no's? I say yes.
Nose.
Oh, come on.
It's a disaster.
Yep.
I don't want to start getting into speculation. I don't know. It's bad.
Bad.
I don't know what that guy's on.
Okay, so here's a perfect sidebar.
Are we allowed to
fantasy-wise
talk
for
about
this.
it?
No, sidebar fantasy for this and take away the football stuff of it. What do you do with Tyreek? What do you do with Waddle? What do you do? I mean, A-Chan I know is a starter no matter what. I'm assuming Tyreek's going to be in your category as well, and Waddle. What if you have Tua? You can if Tua is your starter. Are you looking right now to see who's on the backup or who literally is on the waiver wire at this point?
Fortunately, Tua is not your starter. Tua came into this season ranked 17th or 18th, and that was like the right ranking for him.
Right.
I mean, this is all about McDrugs, okay? What is he doing?
don't know.
Why?
McVape.
Dude, what is going on?
I
What
don't
is he
know.
taking?
I don't know.
Give me some of it.
Right.
I'll take it,
Right.
but not while I'm coaching a football game.
Right.
How are you still not throwing the ball down the field to Tyreek? How are you still not throwing the ball down the field to Waddle? In 2023, they had the most prolific offense in football. It gave people hope here.
Right.
It gave people's kids something that they could watch that their families
Right.
never saw since Dan Marino.
Right.
And then what happened? Is
Dol-
it pi-
the Dolphins, Dolphins.
is it peyote?
I hope so.
Is it mushrooms? Is it cocaine?
I'm gonna go with A or B. I'm gonna get off C. It doesn't look like you have enough energy for C on that one.
It's something
It's
because
something.
I don't get it.
It's horrible.
I've tried to figure it out.
Yeah, you
I don't
you can
have
figure it out.
answers.
Call up Steve
If they
Ross.
throw one more 1 yard out to Alex Ingold, I'm gonna vomit.
Oh God.
What is
that
going on?
I don't know. Our offensive guru has turned into an offensive idiot. That's what's ended up happening at this point.
And now it's just like he
But what do you
can't
do
get
with Tyreek and Waddle at this point? You starting them this week?
I'm starting Tyreek Hill.
Okay, but not Waddle. I
I
didn't
am
hear you
not-
say Waddle really quickly.
I did not say Waddle.
Right.
If I have other options, and I have fantasy leagues, I have other options.
You're going with someone else.
Let's just it's a theme of the show. For example, they're playing against each other. I think that Booty is going to have a much better game than Jalen Waddle.
Okay.
Jalen Waddle has the ability, of course, to break that big touchdown, and I understand it. But even more possible is he might fall and break a fingernail, or he might, hurt his shoulder because every single time that guy
feel
hits
like
the
he
field,
does. He gets
he's
hurt.
getting hurt. Come on, guy, grow a sack. All right, sorry.
Juwan Johnson. Next question. Juwan Johnson is a starting fantasy tight end right now. Yes
We
or no?
discussed this.
Right, we did discuss it a little bit, but it's on my list.
The answer is for week 2, yes, unless you have one of those top 6 or 7 players. I'm starting Tyler Warren over Johnson. I'm starting, obviously, the top guys.
Right.
I'm starting Sam Laporta over him. But other than that, when it gets down to it, and if you didn't take somebody and you're looking at, the options of the Janu Smiths of the world or anything like that, yeah, I'm starting him. I'm giving him a role. I'm going to, if you started Loveland or picked him up because he was the rookie that you thought,
Right.
this week I put him on the bench and I put Johnson on. But he is not a permanent fix. He's not going to be your starting tight end when you are in the playoffs of your fantasy team. This is strictly because we know he's going to get the ball,
Right.
because he's going to get a lot of checkdowns because Spencer Rattler can't wait 2 to 3 seconds. He's
No,
got
my God,
in the
he
pocket.
can't. No
He's
way.
getting rid of the ball
Get
fast,
killed, right.
and he's throwing it to 2 people, Johnson or Olave. So that's the only reason why you're starting him.
When the season ends, Justin Fields is going to be a top 5 fantasy quarterback. Yes or no?
Oh, that's a good one, guys. I like that. I'm gonna go for it. Yes.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Wow.
go for it.
Wow.
Yeah. Dude, I loved him coming into this. The running quarterback, I'm enamored by them. I mean, if you hit with or you actually could catch the ball, like Kyler Murray should be all that.
Right.
He just hasn't connected with that one receiver yet. It was very nice to see him hit Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right, thank God.
We'll hit that on the side. But overall, if Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson become a thing, that becomes like an Ohio State thing. That's going to really, really powerful because I think Fields is going to naturally run the ball for 50 to 70 yards a game, like every game type of thing. And he's
Right.
going to run for touchdowns. He's playing for broke. He's playing for his next paycheck. He's hungry. That's a hungry, city right now trying to have some good things happen to them. Overall, top 5 is very aggressive, but I'm going to make an aggressive call and say, yes, top 5.
I'm in a 2 quarterback league, and I'm starting Daniel Jones this week. Yes or no?
I have no problem with your second quarterback starting Daniel Jones.
God, I hate that guy.
Look, I don't love him,
I hate him.
but we all saw the talent. We all saw him break 80-yard runs, then fall on his face, of course. We've all seen him have moments where he could hit players. Again, went against the Dolphins, who's horrifying secondary.
Right.
So I'm not overly excited about it, but he's got Tyler Warren, he's got Michael Pittman Jr., and those guys are looking the part a little bit.
They are.
In a 2 quarterback system, I have no problem with you starting him. I'll keep it very simple. Very simple.
1 quarterback?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
That's an
I
absolute.
wanted to make sure. That's it.
I know you had to ask the question.
I know I did.
Okay.
It's
But
on
if
my
you're in a
list.
super flex league or you're a quarterback 2 league, you could do worse. Okay. There's something about confidence, and they're walking into this game with confidence. There's something about it. So I'm okay with it, but I'm not expecting him to be a top 5 quarterback this week.
Okay. Last one here before our life question here. That's going to be regarding Fully Kobe on this one. And it's not going to be a yes or no's. It's going to be a no's opinionated whole thing here. I'm setting this up because it's going to be crazy. Kobe has no idea what's coming for him. Kenneth Gainwell is RB1, and I'm starting him this week. Yes or no's?
Kenneth Gainwell.
Yep.
From the Steelers
Yep.
is an RB1.
Is RB1. Is he an RB1? And you're starting him this week.
This is a joke?
No, it's not a joke.
Are we trying to be a professional show?
We are a professional show.
Nose.
Okay. That's that simple. That
Kenneth
quick.
Gainwell, the third down back for the Eagles who could never do anything?
Yep.
Okay. Nose.
Okay. You want to throw that out there? That was a Kobe question.
I know it was. And Kobe hates him. Yes or
Well,
no's?
That's what I was trying. I just needed a nose.
You needed the nose. You wanted the nose.
Right.
I mean, you got the reaction I wanted.
Right,
I hope.
that's exactly it.
No, that guy is just
Perfect timing for this.
let's run Kenneth Gainwell right into the line every time,
Right.
so he could go for 1 yard and fall.
Right.
Great coaching right there.
This is.
But they got the win.
Perfect. Exactly. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Perfect transition into our life question for the week. As anyone who watches the Live at a Dollar podcast network knows at this point, my number one guy, my right-hand man, is Kobe. Kobe, by the way, is about 120 plus days into his new marriage. He just got married within the last couple months. I'm going to say 4 months. Are we at the 4-month range?
May 10th.
May 10th, he got married. I need the Nose's life advice in these first 6 months of marriage for Kobe.
How old are you?
27.
27.
Yep.
Okay, you're not having kids for 6 years. 6 years.
I don't know if that. I don't.
6
I
years.
know his
My
wife
wife's
a little.
teacher.
Like
My wife's a teacher.
right.
Okay, is your wife maternal?
I don't even know what that
Okay,
means.
maternal means is your wife going to be the type of wife who's like, I got this. You go watch your Steelers. I know how important those Steelers are for you. Okay,
No way.
so why don't you go with your boys,
I'll
have a
answer
few
for him.
drinks.
No way.
You're
No
gonna have to.
chance.
You're gonna have to come back and like help me out. But I want you to have your good football Sundays.
So my football Sundays consist of now coming in here, running the stream for them, and then I get to watch the 1 p.m. games, and then I got to go home at 4.
You have to go home.
Well, it's not like a.
Okay, so I'm going to double down.
Yeah.
You don't want kids for 6 years. What you need to be doing is, I don't know, put yourself in front of a microwave for a while or whatever have to do to let the boys not swim, okay? Because it's going to be weird if you start asking your fiance, all right, like, okay, let's like start, protecting ourselves. That's not going to work. You have to protect. You have to figure out a way that you do not pregnate her, okay? You have 6 years left. 6 years left. And trust me, it's a lifetime. I got right now a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old. Excuse me. I lied to you because I don't even know my kids' age. An 8-year-old and a 13-year-old.
I even knew that. That's the best part. I knew she wasn't.
I love
six.
them. They're so
Right.
great. Everything's great about the kids
Love you,
and my
Sid.
wife. I'm so
Love you,
happy.
Sid. Right.
Look how happy I am. Look how great this is. Dude, do you see how gray this hair is?
Right.
Okay.
He knows. Look at
I
me.
had
Right.
perfectly black hair. I had kids.
Gone.
Oh, they're the greatest treasures of life.
Of course. they are.
Gone.
Gone.
The truth is, you want real advice? I'm being serious with you now.
Oh boy.
What you need to do, and anybody who's about to get married, is you have to set the expectation very early. If you're a golfer, right, and you must play your golf on your weekend, you make sure right now,
Don't
she
get Kobe in
knows
trouble.
every Sunday you are playing golf in the morning, or every Saturday you are playing golf in the morning. You make it known. For me, Tuesday nights, the Blazers, they blaze, and then they play softball, okay? And then after that, we eat food. And that's every Tuesday night for the last 17 years because I made it a staple in my life.
Right.
For Sundays, look, I have to be in front of the TV. I have an important pod to do with my boy here.
Right.
I'm going to take care of the kids in the morning, and I'll take care of the kids at night. Or even better, tell them to go away during the football at the beginning. The little baby doesn't move, okay? Send them away. Watch the red zone. But overall, please just take your time with
Set
the children.
expectations is the underlining I get here, right? Set the expectations early.
Just like I always play on
immediately.
Tuesday. What, all of a sudden we have a child and now I don't have a life anymore?
Right. You're gonna get Kobe in so much
What's
trouble.
most
No, I think I'm in a good spot.
Right. I think listen,
she knows what to
I
expect.
met Kobe's wife.
I've been with her for a while.
He's been with her for a long time.
Doesn't matter.
I know. Once
Doesn't matter.
Once the ring goes on, it's totally
Dude, once the
different.
hormones start going,
Yeah.
because the baby pops out,
Right.
good luck.
Right.
But I asked the first question is she maternal? Because my wife, God bless, I'm going to get in so much
Oh,
trouble.
you were so dead. Love you, Suze.
Not maternal. So what not maternal means is like she's not naturally just give me the baby and gushy over the baby. That baby's work. We love the baby as much as any other maternal. Don't question love and being somebody who wants the baby. But if your wife is going to want your help a lot, you're going to have to really juggle that in your mind. Otherwise, you're going to lose your life and wait 6 years.
Kobe, were you ready for that 10th question here today? Or no?
I wasn't.
I went
Yeah,
very
I
It
light.
was good chat. It was
I went
is it. This is
very
it.
light. We're going to get a lot of personal stuff out there.
Oh, question number 10 is always about this. Nose is normally he's never right on the answer for this one. He was right last week. You did get that one right last week.
Feel good about it.
You basically gotten 3 questions right probably in the last 15 or 20 years, maybe 4, maybe at this point. This was more of a, I need you to meet my right-hand man. This is my right-hand man, Nose. This is my right-hand man, Kobe. Congratulations. Now we're going to be together for the next 17 or 18 weeks sitting in this room for a couple hours every week.
If he has kids, he's not going to be here every week.
No.
You don't understand. The kid thing is very real.
I know.
So congratulations on being engaged, right?
No, they're married.
Oh, sorry.
They're married since
sorry.
2010. Right.
Congratulations on being married.
Right.
Thank you.
Pull out.
All right. With that said, we're going to get to the end of the podcast today. Kobe has no idea this was coming. Nose had no idea this was coming. And to be honest with you, 2 minutes before we started this podcast, I had a totally different number 10 question, and I changed it immediately when I knew the 3 of us would be stuck in a room for the next hour and a half together. All right. This is the end of our podcast. We normally get to this.
Oh, God.
It's the Nose pick of the week. Remember, Nose is going to give you someone he loves this week. He is not going to give you a name of a number 1 first-round pick to start this week. He likes to give you someone kind of down the line a little bit that he thinks is going to be a really good starter for this week and this week only. If the Nose pick of the year was different than Nose picks of the week. Nose pick of the year is a combined, this is what's going to happen over the season. The week is just for this week, and when this week is over, that Nose pick of the week doesn't count anymore. With that all said, it is now time for the end of our podcast, which means it is time for you to give us the Nose pick of the week. I give you the mic, I sit back, I take my notes, and I watch Kobe as his face is still red from question number 10. Go ahead.
Got a lot of like, what's it called? The trolls out there on the first one.
Oh, yeah.
The trolls come out to play,
Right.
and I'm here for it. I mean, what else am I going to do? But look, once I got married with kids, I was a punching bag.
That's it.
That's what Kobe's
Take
looking
it.
forward
Now
to.
he's going to get it, right.
So here's
right.
what we're looking at. He's coming home. We got a rookie. I'm recommending a rookie
Wow.
with a very below average thrower, but I don't care because he's coming home. Tatoria McMillan.
Wow.
The rookie, the 8th pick overall, is playing at Arizona, where his alma mater was, where he had Jed Fish for year 1 and even did better year 2. McMillan had 5 grabs for 68 last week off of 9 targets. Now this week he's going to improve off of those numbers. He's going to catch 7 balls. He's going to have over 100 yards, and he's going to have his first ever career touchdown. So if you had McMillan, you maybe picked him with all that upside in
Right,
the world,
right.
weren't really thrilled with his 5 for 68. I'm telling you, this is week 2. They're going to get him the ball in the dome. Everything feels very right. Tatoria McMillan, I probably butchered his first
I'm sure
name.
you did. I call him
Don't care.
T-Mac, right?
T-Mac,
Right.
the nose pick of the week.
I love that. That's going to end our podcast for this week. As we always do here, we end it with the Nose pick of the week. And this was a good one this week. I'm very excited for week 2 of the NFL season. Thursday Night Football coming up.
wait.
Another big week of football. And by the way, doubleheader on Monday Night Football this week as well. We have a
Big
late-
Gino playing in
right?
the second game.
We have a nice late game where we have a couple South Florida kids in there as well. Aronde Gadsden's kid is in that game as well, 10 p.m. For that one as well. All right, that's Kobe in the background. You hear him in the back, and you hear him get embarrassed because we're going to embarrass him every single week here on the podcast.
I don't think I embarrassed him.
No,
I
no,
just
not
gave him-
embarrassed. More of just not ready for that. That
That's
was
called-
a serious question I just threw at number 10. Normally they're a little bit more
I
fun,
gave
right?
him, we are old in this room.
Right.
I gave that
We're old in
man
this
the
building.
greatest advice. Wait as long as possible.
Right. It was very good. I like the pull out one there as well. All right. That's the Nose. I am Radio. This has been Radio's Yard Live at a Dollar Podcast Network. Every single week you will see us here for Radio and the Nose Fantasy Football Show with our boy Kobe in the background. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, you like what Nose said or did not. Make sure we know about it every single week in the comments. For the boys here, I am Radio. Another edition here of Radio and the Nose Fantasy Football Podcast on the Live at a Dollar Podcast Network.